you said that you don't want to get to more details with the highway. We have, as a city, already launched the first phase, which we started with Route 1C, simple because it was the smallest route and because we were piloting the bus system. We started to launch it and wanted to see how far we can implement successfully this bus system. Yes, we have done it successfully. So already we are at an advanced stage to launch Route 1A. That is the route that will be moving from town and taking Musheshe Road around the Winkidi Repo road. So that is at an advanced stage. We are anticipating that in the next financial year as the city, we will be able to implement that route that is going to cover plus or minus 50 buses that will be going to be putting on the road as the city. But we are also calling on the investors to invest also in the system of transport in our city. So I just wanted to make that contribution with regard to the highway bus service. Thank you.
MMC, that was a presentation in disguise, but there's money. I know why you had to do that. That's another presentation in terms of how investors can also tap in ensuring that the highway project is completed. The third speaker. This side. Is there a roaming mic this side?
Thank you, Program Director, Skekieta Sagamato. I nearly used my shop steward voice. But thank you very much, Memajo, for the presentation. My pointers are based on two things. One, Memajo, maybe we, as the department, you should help Mangaung in creating more mobility awareness due to the number of increasing of passengers with different disabilities. Because of the way the city was designed, it's an old design that was not inclusive but exclusive. So we need a proper pedestrian road that is designed in a universal way that will be accessible for our people. Two, maybe I should again say, as the South Africans, particularly young people living with disability, we appreciate the efforts that Mangaung Metro took by introducing the first public transport that is universal accessible in our province, which is highway. But concern remains when Mangaung itself have to take a burden alone without the support of the both provincial and national government in ensuring that this first ever public transport that we have is not only in the buses system, but it even escalates to public transport in inclusive your taxi and what we call your shuttles. Because of our people are paying more high when they have to travel due to their disabilities because of they can't utilize our own public transport that we have today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The last, who do I know last? The gentleman.
Thank you, Program Director. I am CSC Masitela, representing the entity Omulemo Mohau Solutions and the NPO called the Tsemala Sechaba Community Shield. As business, for me, Mochwa from Free State Department of Community Safety and Road and Transport, maybe Dumelo, Machwa, Moholo Orongwa Ayeme. I would like for you, Matt, to take this proposal to the department that they can take it over to National Department of Transport. We must agree, and we must all agree that we are having too too many taxis in the city. We are having too many taxis in South Africa. And I'm coming from that background as a taxi operator. Taxis are not making money anymore. The proposal which I'm sending it maybe should be spearheaded by Executive Mayor is to advise maybe to send a proposal to National Department of Transport to introduce voluntary surrender package to taxi operators who need to get away from taxi operations. I'm telling you for now, many taxi operators are sitting with their taxis and the permits. They're not making them any profit for them. If ever National Department of Transport can give them this voluntary surrender package for them, that you surrender your permit, you surrender your taxi, we'll be having a much seamless integrated public transport system in Mangaung. Let me maybe advise Mangaung Metro as a city from business side. When you go to Rustenburg, city of Rustenburg, they have introduced a sticker for each and every public carrier. It might be a bus, it might be a taxi, you need to have a sticker. That sticker is creating revenue for Rustenburg City Municipality. Because when a taxi is coming from Cape Town, Durban, whatsoever, using the road of Rustenburg or passing that, they must have that sticker to at least there should be some revenue for the city. My concern, even from yesterday, is how can we as business advise the city to have some revenue? I thank you.
No, thank you very much for those 4 questions. I would like also, when you answer that, you also speak on Haueng, because that is ours. That is ours. So that investors also online that they can also be aware that in the city, the kind of transport that they have, so that they can also pitch in. That's the reason why MMC actually raised it, for the purpose of attracting investment. But the other questions that were asked were towards the HOD of spatial planning. So would you start, HOD, with the question? Can I have a roaming mic for HOD, Menuk Tulachagan?
Thank you, MMC. I think from our side, let me perhaps start. Good morning. And I stand on the protocol that has already been introduced earlier. I think there was a question on the intermodal facility, which is the white elephant, the taxi rank. To us, it's not just a taxi rank, but we call it an intermodal because it's not only catering for the taxis, but remember, it consists of other transport facilities as well, including the rail that you're speaking about. So at this point, we are not going to demolish the white elephant. Instead, we do have an architect that has prepared designs to correct the facility so that it can be utilized for what it was actually meant for. And if you would remember, for the benefit of those that don't know, initially we had entered into an agreement with the Taxi Association, where we had handed over the facility to them because they had leased it. But we've since been having discussions with them on it to say, let them hand it over back to us so that at least we see how best we can try to fix the situation there, because I think the reason it's not working is because the way it was built, the entrances are too small for taxis to be there. And we wouldn't want to lose out on such an opportunity. I think the gentleman that was speaking lastly was mentioning to say the taxi industry is quite big. And if we are to be serious about cleaning up our city and ensuring there's order in Mangaung, we would need to be organized even from that level, public transport. And just to add on to that, we are also open for prospective investors that would come in and assist in fixing the challenges there. Hence, I say Anton Roth has worked on the designs to fix the problem, but of course we would be willing to enter into another triple P, perhaps if there's an investor that is interested in ensuring that we do fix the problem and have the facility being used for that intermodal. Because it's close to the railway, there's buses there, there's taxis. So this is a modal facility that can actually address so many challenges with one facility at the same time. And then on a question on accessibility, we do have the comprehensive integrated transport plan that we were assisting the provincial department with. And it does actually allow for the mobility of our differently abled citizens, even our Haweng buses that MMC was touching on. They even have the what do you call it, where batuba on wheelchairs. So when we are planning going forward, we are planning for the universal access modes. So when we are planning, we do include all of that in our planning. The comprehensive integrated transport plan is yet to go. It's a 5-year plan, and it's yet to go to our council. At this level, we have just met with the different Section 80s, planning, because we also have transport planning under our department, and public safety. And then from that structure, then it would then be going to council where we can adopt it as our 5-year plan. And I think the province has been on board with it throughout, because we do have our colleagues that have been assisting from that phase. I just want to check if there's anything I would have missed. I think from my side, Program Director, those would be the questions I would have noted. Thank you. I'll hand over to Memaj.
Thank you very much, HOD. Maybe Dume, you.
Thank you. Executive Mayor, please protect me from these beautiful ladies. They are attacking me indirectly. I just want to present a disclaimer to say that I'm fully aware of what is going on at Mangaung, but I don't work there, so I can't say we as Mangaung. MMC, I was part of the group that actually gave Haweng its name. When it started, I was part of the planning process. And I fought them. I say, why are you saying Haweng? Why don't you say Hare? But there was a vote and Haweng won the bid. So I'm very much in support of Haweng. And I also just want to give another disclaimer to say, because I don't work at Mangaung, what I can do is I can elucidate the project potential or the investment potential. And that is what I was asked to do. I was requested to elucidate the project potential for investors and business people who have interest in transport to be able to identify where you can plug in your investments. So whatever it is that I've said, your responsibility as the audience is to look at what I've said. If you need more information, I'm available to see how you can plug in as an investor. And I think the HOD rightly said that in the CITP, we have the issue of PWDs and universal access. But I was expounding the issue of pedestrian walkways again to see whether we cannot have public-private partnerships, because we all know that the coffers of the city, I'm not going to say they're empty, I'm going to say they're invisible, just out of respect for you. The voluntary surrender, oops, that's a tough one. Unromego national, gore ke tloge mo ka maoto, ke hite ko provinceng, ke itle ko Pretoria, o se tlogo ntate kwena. Ebile ke batla go shaba ka matlho. I'm not the working type. I'll certainly present it to the powers that be, and I believe they'll consider it. It's costly, but I think instead of looking at something from a situation where what can I be given, maybe the tax industry needs to come to us and say, advise us on how we can reposition the transport assets that we have. Because I strongly believe that giving up a taxi is the last resort. There are so many other ways that we can try to maximize efficiency out of your rolling stock investment. The last one, the people with disabilities. We have a project as the department now that we're looking at. We're working with all the disability associations in Mangaung to see how we can assist people with disabilities to move around. We took a proposal to the Taxi Association, and the Taxi Association said to us, ya zamaulo jwetsa Toyota ba etse dikoloi tsa rona hore di be wheelchair friendly. The only problem is that once you requisition Toyota to develop a wheelchair friendly car, the price spikes up. So we're now looking at innovative ways that we can make sure that people with disabilities have access to transport, albeit not in the main line, but just to assist them to go from origin to destination. We also have a project in Botshabelo with Deaf SA where we're doing signals, taxi signals for the deaf, and we're just about to launch it in Mangaung, and the gentleman that's responsible for special projects has been very helpful in assisting us with that project. Program Director, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Me Dumelo. Before we get to, I think let's give a round of applause, just a warm round of applause. Before we go for tea break, I want us to flight her slide of projects. I get it, people are investing. The projects, there's that one of intermodal, there's that one of cargo, so that those that have other questions that may involve also the issues of highwaying the projects that we have MMC to lady, please raise your hand, and the HOD, where potential investors, if they have other clarity-seeking questions on what we have, they can have those discussions in Tate Khamanyane with yourselves. Tate Khamanyane, definitely, I'm the one who can see you, they can't see you. Please stand so that, just wave so that we know they will come to yourselves and the MMC for this tea break. We're going to break for just a slight tea break. I would request, I'll be standing here, I will request that we be back at 11. 11, thank you very much.